In this video, we are going to be learning how to cut and to sew this dress. For the back, you can use it with or without belt. And if this is something you are interested in knowing, kindly continue watching this video. I have 1.5 yard of fabric here, and this is what I'll be using to make the dress. Now, before I cut out anything, I'll go ahead to cut out the down pleats. And to do that, I place the edges together on the by 60 length, measured 6 inches, and I cut it out. Remember, because I placed it together, it's 2-piece, so I joined it together before I went ahead to weave it all around. So before we cut it, I'll be explaining how you can apply your measurements.
The full length of my client's dress is 39. From her shoulder to her underbust is 12.5 inches. This is her underbust measurement. Our dress is expected to start from her underbust measurement, while the Milkmaid will be starting from the underbust to wherever her desired neckline is. So you are going to subtract your underbust measurement from your full length. I'm going to be having 26.5 because so I'll be using 27 instead for the full length of the front. Now for the full length of the back, since the full length is 39 and because we are making an off shoulder, I'm going to subtract your off shoulder depth, and her off shoulder depth is 6. So we are going to subtract 6 from 39 and it's going to give us 33. Now this will be for the back length. And this will be for the front length. The front length is going to be completed with the Milkmaid to meet up with this 33 full length as well. I just said her underbust measurement is 12.5 and our off shoulder depth is 6. So when you subtract her off shoulder depth from 12.5, you are going to be left with 6.5. Now to make my figure round up, I'll be adding 1.5 inches. So when I subtract her off shoulder depth, this is her off shoulder depth. When I subtract her off shoulder depth from her underbust measurement, I will be having 6.5.
Because of the fold up at the chest side, I'll be adding 1.5 inches for my sewing allowance, and that will give me a total of 8 inches for the length of the front Milkmaid. So this is how I applied my measurement. Kindly use your measurement accordingly as I have explained. To get the length of the fabric you need to use for your front Milkmaid gather, you are going to divide your bust measurement by 2 and you multiply whatever you have by 2, and that will give you the basic length for the gather of the front Milkmaid. So I've already placed my fabric on fold. I'll make sure to check if it's enough, and yes, this is enough. So I'll mark the length of my Milkmaid. To make it easier, I'll place it on a smaller fold, mark out the length of the Milkmaid, and I'm going to cut it out. I'll still leave my fabric on fold like this, and I'm going to be cutting out the sleeve. Whatever your sleeve length is, add 2 inches that you will use as fold on the top part and the down part that you'll be passing elastic. So I'll just mark out my desired sleeve length with added allowance and I'll cut it out. I'll be using this for the both sleeve. Next, I'll still keep my fabric on fold and I'm going to be cutting out the length for this part of the dress. This is going to be serving for the front and the back. So I'll open it up and I will divide it up. Keep one part on side and I will use one part to be drafting the back side first.
Place this one on fold like this. Place my tape after her off shoulder depth. Her off shoulder depth is 6. But now, because of the sewing allowance, I'll be using 5.5 so that when I'm done sewing, I'll have 6. So from that point, I'll just mark her armhole depth. Normally, I use my shoulder measurement divided by 2 to get the armhole depth. And I'll just mark it out like this.
With the tape placed like that, I'll mark out the bust point and the half length. Place the tape on the half length and I'll mark out her hip line. For ease in wearing, I added a zip, so I'll be marking my zipper allowance of 1 inch. I'll go ahead to mark her body measurement and I'm going to be adding extra 2 inches. 1 inch is for sewing allowance, while the other 1 inch is for ease. On the hem, I added 3 inches, 2 inches to give it an A-line look and the extra 1 inch for sewing allowance. And I'll connect the marked out points together. Place the tape after my 1 inch zipper allowance mark and I'll mark the neck width, and I'm using 6 inches. I'm going to connect the neck width to my armhole depth as shown.
And decide to increase the neck depth of the back part. And to do that, just place your tape on your off shoulder depth. This is 5.5. And decide to make the back neck depth 7 or 8. So I'm going to be using 7.5 for the back neck depth, and I'll be connecting it to the neck width with a curve like this. Now, to make things very easy when you are cutting the front, you're going to place your tape on your half shoulder depth as well and make sure the underbust measurement. I know you're not using it for the back part, but it will make it very easy when you place it to draft the front part. So just mark out the underbust measurement line like this on the back I'll show you the importance when you are drafting the fabric. I'll just go ahead to cut this out, and I'll notch the zipper allowance part like this.
I'll take the fabric for the front part and I'm going to place it on fold.
So from this point now, you take the back piece and you place it on the front piece. Remember, this is our under bust line that I marked. So your under bust line should be seated just on the beginning of the fabric. You ensure that your zipper allowance is sitting just on the edge of this one.
So after I've arranged this, I'll go ahead to cut the front part following the shape of the back part. So I'll take the back part. Remember, this is the neckline and this is the armhole. We are going to be cutting lining to turn up the neckline. I have a fabric on fold. I'm going to place it on the neckline. I'm going to be cutting out the lining that I'll be using to turn the back neckline. I'll take the left fabric, place it on fold, and I'm going to place it on a 2.5-inch fold, and I'm going to be cutting this out as the belt.
So I'll open it at the center to have one at the right and one at the left.
On the Milkmaid part of the front part, I used hand needle to make a back and forth stitch, as this is very easy to draw gathers. I've also folded the channel for my elastic and I've already started making my gather, and because it's an hand needle, it's very easy. So I'll go ahead to draw the gather and I will arrange it evenly all around. So here I am done with the gathers. Next, I'm going to be joining the Milkmaid to the down gown part. I'll just sew it straight up. Here I'm done joining, so I'm going to place the upper part of the gather on fold so I can cut an armhole, and I'm going to take the back armhole after placing the tip of the open part on fold. I'll place the back armhole on the open part of it like this. Here I place the back armhole, so I'm going to follow the same shape and I'm going to cut it out. Then now I can pass my elastic through it. I have fixed the zipper for the back and I've also turned the neckline for the back part.
I had to shape the side using my sewing allowance. So the next thing is to fix the down fledge. You should measure whatever the width of the gown is, so that when you are making your gathered pleats, you are going to ensure that it is equal to the width of the down. So this is the sleeve. I've placed it on fold, and this is the two sleeve on fold. I went ahead to place the armhole the same way I placed it when I wanted to cut the front. This is the back. I placed it on the ending side of the sleeve, not on the folded part. Please, you can see this side is the folded part of the sleeve and this is the opened part of the sleeve. So I just placed the armhole like this. So I'll go ahead to cut it out following the armhole on the back side, which is what I used to cut the armhole of the front part as well. So here I have gone ahead to cut this out. So this is the armhole for the sleeve. So I'll go ahead to fold here in, and I'll put my elastic through this part, and I'll also fold the down part as well, and I'll pass my elastic through.
So here I am done fixing my elastic. As you can see, this is our armhole area. So I'm going to place the sleeve on fold like this, and I'm going to be sewing it from the down part to the up part.
Here I went ahead to pin the sleeve with the top part of the dress, and I also pinned the center of the sleeve to the side seam of the dress, and I went ahead to pin the other end of the sleeve to the back neckline, and I'll be flipping the lining on it while I sew, so that I can get a neat finishing like this at the wrong side. This is the back side of the sleeve that I have done, so I'll just join the sleeve. So here I sewed from the top. I cut out my thread. I sew all the way here, the armhole to the armhole, and I sewed to the back. Like I said, I flip my lining so that when I turn it over to the right side like this, it will be neatly finished. That's it. So that is all for the sleeve. And after, I've also gone ahead to fix the gather at the down part.
I simply just tack the rope for fancy. So here, this is the finished look and this is the fit on my client. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video.